evening, everybody. Councillors, Town Clerk, and those watching online. Planning and infrastructure on the 1st of April. Can you make sure your phones are turned off? First of all, are there any apologies? No apology. Secondly, are there any declarations of interest?
Yes.
Yes. Grange Road?
Yes. 7-2.
Is Annie, or is that to you?
It's all apart from the house.
Right. That's all the interests. The minutes, to approve the minutes of the Planning and Infrastructure Committee held on the 4th of March as a true record.
I propose.
You propose, seconded? Right. Okay, seconded, Councillor Hetherington. Item 4.
Vote, Chair.
Oh, sorry, I always forget. Yes, all those in favour? Stephen wasn't here.
I wasn't here.
Okay, Manston Airport airspace change proposal, stage 3 consultation.
Chair, may I suggest that we ask Councillor Grange to just to go through his
Yes.
few pages and then we can listen to what he says.
Next to my minutes.
I'll beg your pardon. Beg your pardon.
Okay, Councillor Green.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Very impressed with what you've written.
I do certainly believe that, although I don't believe the airport will ever go ahead for economic reasons, if it did, it would destroy Ramsgate. There's no doubt about that.
Yes.
I mean, both health-wise, economic-wise, it would be a total disaster. And I've tried to cover some of those problems, particularly the health problem. Where, on RSP's own figures, there would be enormous health debt created by the airport. So that, for that reason alone, along with the fact that it's never been proven to be economically viable, even Pins turned it down. And it was only given a DCO approval by the Tory minister at the time without meeting any of the concerns. So I believe that we as a town council, if for the good of Ramsgate, do everything we can to oppose the airport going forward. Now, whether we should campaign is up to you, but I think we should continue what we did to try to oppose the DCO. I'm not suggesting that we use a lot of money to do that, but I think we should make our views clear.
I just wanted to say, this latest consultation is about the flat plots. And
Yes.
yes,
Absolutely.
Not about whether we should or should not have an airport. And I think most people agree we shouldn't have one. So I'm not sure how much other things we should bring into this particular consultation. I mean, for example, I would like to know who pays for all this posh report and whatever. I would like to know about the unloading of these maybe up to 4 aircraft an hour, and where the lorry's going to go, and all those sort of.
Yeah, all those things are outside of the consultation, you're quite right. And I think at this stage, we should stick to what's
to the aviation.
to the consultation.
But so are we saying? So I read what you said, and it's brilliant. But is it sticking to just this aviation thing? Okay.
That's all from the consultation document.
Okay. Right, Councillor Nixie.
I think we as Ramsgate Town Council have taken a stand that the opening of Manston Airport would be detrimental to Ramsgate, and we've said that in various meetings before, which has been admitted, and therefore I would propose that we most definitely, as a council, submit our objection to the CAA with regards to the information that we've got to comment on. Whether we do that through Councillor Green's proposal, we come up with something else, I'll let the others have their say with regards to that. I do think it's important that we put something in writing to the CAA.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. I don't disagree. I think we need to consider Councillor Green's submissions carefully, take out of those submissions what is really relevant. I'm not saying that none of it's not relevant for the whole thing, but relevant to this.
That's what I was trying to do.
And then effectively what they're trying to get us, or get anybody to do, is to go with their preferred option, and not the other one. So really there is only 2 choices. It's not as though there's any other choices. This is their proposal, not anybody else's proposal. So they're asking us to mark their homework. I mean, that's effectively what they're asking. And I'm in 2 minds whether just to say, okay, let's use Councillor Green's.
Oh, yeah.
Bunged it in, but I don't think we should. I mean, this is just me, but others have a point of view. Whether we should decide whether we actually go with option A or B, or don't go for any of the options. Just declare that they're both unacceptable.
A and B are equally bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And they're only to do with the routes inland.
Yeah.
Don't address Ramsgate.
No.
Councillor Hetherington.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite concerned about this. That the consideration seems to be about what affects Southend.
Yes.
Very little consideration about what affects Ramsgate. I mean, it's what affects the Southend flight paths.
Yeah.
But I very much agree with what you said, David. I think we use that document.
Councillor Austin.
Yes, I think what Councillor Green has put together here is actually all highly relevant. The first page is completely about the flight paths. The second page is about the impact of noise which results from the flight paths. Perhaps it needs a concluding paragraph to point out how that relates. And the last part is a critique of the process, which is certainly a process I would want to criticise, because I recognise that this is the CAA's process, but it leaves us very little scope for comment, even though we're going to be grossly adversely affected.
Exactly. Councillor Shonk.
Well, I'm going to be completely different from the rest of you. I would not take any part of anti-airport issues. I won many a campaign on the back of Manston Airport, fully supportive. Most of the residents I've spoken to, I've been to all the briefings and with Roger Gale. I've been fully supportive since 2014. The aeroplanes fly over my house, they've always done. It's jobs and more jobs and more jobs. Whether the airport will take off, I don't know. Anyway, I've been. Can I finish talking? I'm fully supportive. I know you've all got different opinions, but that's my opinion. Thank you very much.
I'd point out that the previous airport movements were nothing like what they're proposing. You know, there might be 2 a day, which you could probably live with, but for an hour?
It's every 6 minutes.
Every 6 minutes.
It's every 6 minutes from 6 a.m. till 11 a.m.
Okay. Councillor.
Yeah, I think we can go on about this for quite some time. So, may I suggest, Chair, or propose, if it's all right with Councillor Green, for Councillor Green is to meet with the town clerk and get a response from the substance of his report put together on behalf of the whole council.
On behalf of the whole council. Has everybody done individual?
I am going to be.
I'm going to be.
You're going to be,
I
yes.
think the intention was for this committee to recommend to full council.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, then that's what we'll do. But I still think in the meantime, before it goes to full council, that
You need to put it into the council.
put into.
No, I was just about to say, if you want, I can put that Councillor Green works with the town clerk to then formulate a response to go to
full council, yeah.
Yes, councillor.
I mean, I'll start with what I would finish with. I think there needs to be a motion because we clearly have somebody who doesn't support what the rest of us support. Clearly, you know, I don't support expansion. I don't know how RSP are getting away with the change of use applications that are going in, and I don't see any airport supporters in planning jumping up and down about the change of use from solely airport, drag racing, storage, what was the last one? Market. I just find it utterly ridiculous and ironic that the people that support the airport are not defending the single use of that land. They're sat there completely quiet and it makes me chuckle. I fully support this today to fill that in. I also know that one of us will need on the response from the Green Party and us as individuals as well. What I don't understand is I thought if there were fundamental changes from the original application, it had to go back and the DCO failed. It had to go back to things with new planning. And I'm not quite sure how they're going to go with submitting something which is an updated flight plan.
Sorry, my motion.
Yeah.
But secondary for that.
I'll second it. Those in favour? Right, so those against the motion.
You support it, you're against the motion.
Yeah, against them, yeah.
The House actually really shocked me.
Yeah.
The what, sorry? Councillor Green mentioned about a campaign. I do think that we as a council have a duty to let our residents know that this consultation is going on should anyone wants to put their own submission in. We have a duty of care to advertise that fact.
Yeah.
People's make their own minds up on it, but it's going on and it will affect them, and we are.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That'll need a budget, won't it?
Well, whatever we decide, but if that comes back to full council.
Yeah. Sorry.
Councillor Evans.
Yeah, I think it's very important what you've just said, Councillor Nixie, because a lot of people that have moved to Ramsgate, you know, even recently, are completely unaware of all of this stuff. I mean, I get people asking me, is the airport going ahead, etc. And totally agree with you, David, about the health implications, and I did present on those on every occasion, on particularly the mental health implications.
I'm sorry, I don't agree with council money on any advertising to our residents, because I've just worked through 4 years of the Sea-Link project, and not once has anybody brought a motion to spend money on that, and even less people know about that.
I wasn't suggesting spending money, I thought whether it be on our website or...
Yes, stuff on the website.
I understand, Chair. I thought that it was, if we had to put stuff out about it, we've already done it, it's already on our website.
Yeah, I can speak to the new comms.
We can push it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yes, we don't have to spend money and do
People would say what they want.
Exactly.
Yes. Right, so we're going to the basis of David's, Councillor Green's very, very good.
And thank him for doing so.
Yeah, thank you, David.
Right, the next item on the agenda is the Highways Improvement Plan.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so this report covers two highway concerns that were raised from the last meeting. Firstly, Kent County Council has confirmed that the damaged signs being replaced are two no entry signs at the High Street and Hardy Street junction, not the Harbour Street as what was previously thought. With this clarified, the committee may wish to explore the formal process for introducing an appropriate weight restriction in town centre if it wishes to move this forward. Any further missing or damaged signs will need to be reported through KCC's online system so they're logged properly. The second update is the continued issues caused by the heavy traffic in the town centre for the paving. KCC has advised that problems such as uneven paving need to formally be reported through their online portal. Informal comments to officers or other councillors will not trigger repairs. Councillor Wing and Mrs Morgan are encouraging residents to do the same, and we're looking to do a campaign to launch to encourage residents to do the same as well, reporting in town. Once these issues are properly logged, the council will be in a stronger position to escalate matters if KCC fails to act. So the recommendation is committee to inquire about the process required to introduce a weight restriction in the town centre if it sees fit.
Well, I just want to say that I approached many years ago now, Poundland, about their lorry, which visibly messes with the road, and ended up writing to them and getting a response saying, well, we will move out of the town if they can't bring their lorry up. Which I don't know whether they would or not. I imagine it's the only shop in Ramsgate that seems to do any trade. Anyway, I'd put that out there. Councillor Nixie.
Well, first of all, I'd have thought KCC were the ones to put a weight restriction limit on a road, not us. I don't understand why that would be something that we would be deciding. You know, we don't decide on other roads, do we? Sort of like, well, you know, that's okay for a lorry, this one isn't, it's down to them. But secondly, then I think in that case we very much should do that to make sure that the town centre is, you know, kept in good nick and what have you, because it is an issue. So if that's what we have to do, then that's what we have to do.
Oh, if we have to, I mean, I was walking up there today and trying to identify where they're very bad, but they're all over the place.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's quite hard. Councillor Austin.
Yeah, I agree with Councillor Nixie. I mean, it is KCC's job, but we have, as ward councillors, suggested it to KCC a number of times, and they've said, no, it's fine. Well, it obviously isn't fine. We know it's not fine, and residents know it's not fine. So I think we need to be trying to push KCC to do something about it.
So just to as well, with the TRO that we had done before, we had to go to consultation and ask for the amendment. If we were to put a weight restriction, as I believe we would have to do an amendment to the TRO, so hence why we'd need to do a consultation. So it's not us doing it, see if the need is there.
Oh, I see.
That KCC do it.
Right.
Councillor Wing.
If we're gonna propose a change to the TRO, can we put a 20s plenty zone in as well? We might as well just consult on the two things, because I don't have anybody. I don't want people that's not been killed, because you just see people flying through there.
I'd like to get it all closed, all pedestrian zones.
I don't think that's going to happen, is it? Because how do deliveries happen unless they have to happen between them?
I had the baths, like they do everywhere else, in every other town.
Yeah, but there's deliveries to certain businesses that are small businesses. We could just crumble them.
In other places, they park a trolley.
Trolley it up everywhere else.
Well, that's what I think that would be ideal for Ramsgate.
Yeah,
Pedestrianisation from another high street. Right away through.
Let's create a TRO then and go out to consultation. I mean, doesn't have to happen, does it?
We still need to allow deliveries. So before 10 should be enough.
You don't necessarily have to allow deliveries as in I park outside this place because this is where I do the takeaways from. It could be I park round the back or
Yeah.
a trolley or?
No, they only bring a car in before 10 in the morning, or van, yes.
That's what they're supposed to already.
Oh, no, not much use, but the worst thing we ever done is got rid of the road that was in there, and that block paving has been a pain ever since it's been there. It's all unlevel, the lorries have moved it.
Yes.
If you had the road there and the pavement, but the cost would be too expensive. From Harbour Street all the way up to as far as we could go.
Well,
Let's go with it.
I don't know.
Which is, yeah.
Councillor
I
Wing.
think the good thing is that we know the town council will stay. That's the one thing that's going to be constant. So if we start this process and none of us are here, it could be picked up by next time. It's not like we're going to be missing. The process could be started and possibly carried on. Yeah, next lot of people. Yep.
Councillor Nick.
So we're proposing that we're going to go out to consultation with regards to something.
To change the TRO to get the whole of the pedestrianised area properly surfaced so that it's not a hazard. I know it's maybe pie in the sky, but it's nothing vented and all that. And a 20 mile,
Look at 20 mile.
certainly up the high street.
There is one thing you've missed out, Chair.
What?
Weight restriction.
Weight restriction.
Which was the original
With the
Which was
original
the original
thing.
thing, which is
Yeah.
what we should be
And
doing.
20 mile an hour limit along here.
If we can get that, yeah.
Yes, now we would need to define where we want the 20 mile an hour.
Can I just ask,
Yes.
Dean, so Dean, what's the next process?
So that was the recommendation, is to inquire in the process to then bring back a plan of what the stages are.
So we-
I can put that in the email to the
I'll
board.
propose that then, Chair, and that's what we do.
And what I just check.
Yes.
Dean, are you saying that if we're inquiring of KCC about the weight limit, we can also at the same time inquire what the process is about other things?
I will inquire that.
I mean, it's 20 other places have 20 miles an hour.
That's bad then.
I second it.
Seconded. All those in favour? Right. Okay. So, item 6, the National Grid ceiling.
Yours, Becky?
Well, I understood Trevor, Councillor Shaw.
Becky,
I've represented the town council.
various local residents, including the gamekeeper, who was at once brilliant. He read on behalf of the boss, keeping up to date. So there's another deadline of the 11th, which is mainly 11th of April to get something in. I think our town clerk, she showed me the documentation that was mainly going to be read out by Trevor, and I think she's already sent that. It's already gone. It's absolutely brilliant. So if anybody wants to know, it's really important that people put stuff in. Have a look at that and put your own slant on it as a person or resident and put it in. But my general feeling is that the planning inspectorate were definitely taking notes when people spoke. Once again, Suffolk had much more greater representation than Ipswich, but it seems as if they've got just as many issues. I mean, the key thing for me is it could have gone onto a brownfield site, and in terms of the hoverpool, they haven't properly evidenced why they need to buy it. I mean, they could just have it for 4 years and then, or 5 years and then give us it back. Their whole process of consultation has been so shockingly bad. So the Viking Cafe hasn't even been spoken to. She gave representation and was close to tears. So we're following it up with the young man that made the film about the marshes on the 8th of May at the Viking ship, to try and continue to raise awareness of what's going on. I mean, Cliff's End is going to be completely trashed. That's fact. They're just going to be devastated. I did follow up on weight restriction, because I'm going to add this into the highways issue. So I wrote to Paul Valack and said, look, apparently there's a width restriction. Can you tell us what this is about? Because I go through that tunnel quite a lot and there's no physical barrier and there's no sign. So I will forward the email, but basically I think it's going to 3.3 metres and something, but I'll send you the email so you've got the exact wording from Paul Valack. It's nothing to worry about. New signage is going up. All it means is that it's gone from 6 metres wide to 3 point something metres wide, and if you're that wide,
It's abnormally
you have to
wide.
approach KCC to get them to approve it or escort you through the tunnel. And it's about the safety in the tunnel when wide loads go through. So really, it's
Fair enough.
but it's a non-entity with regards to the cancelling of this here, because it's got nothing to make any difference. But it's certainly a bit of useful information going forward, because the road traffic plan for some of the equipment that will come in here means that the roundabout will have to be taken out, the road signs will have to be taken out to get the stuff going through is going to be massive, some of it. So it's just the process of continuing, and a decision will be made this year. If you've seen some of the posts on, say, Minster Marshes, I mean, the guys are up to their knees in water. So part of me wants to say crack on.
What is Casey's? Sorry, what's Casey's?
Sorry, Chair, can I just ask council, why are they coming through?
They need 360,000 tonnes of aggregate to lift the building up.
Because they're building an enormous building.
I know the building, but I thought you meant they were bringing stuff
They've also
through.
got to pile.
So it's coming from
Yeah, and also,
Please.
the converter itself, we have had large converters through. I mean, there was a lorry with 200 wheels on it that had to stop on the Westmander Cliff because all the wheels have got sensors on them, and it was feeling that the pavement was slipping away from it. So God knows how it's going to get that stuff across a marsh. I mean, the mind boggles, and part of me wants to go crack on because it was quite entertaining.
Yeah, that's fine. I did go on the Tuesday, which was a long day, but it's quite an interesting to sit there. I've represented Ramsgate Town Council before on other planning issues about 2019. But what really struck me was the empty seats in that room. There's such a real concern about this whole issue. Fair enough, there's people sitting there online, YouTube. The same concern is up at Alderborough, is it, up in Suffolk?
Yeah.
Aldborough. And so they've got their own issues. And a lot of independent people spoke on it. I don't think, because it's very badly planned, I'd be surprised if they get that through. Anyway, the most important part was when I went there Wednesday, which was very concerning because they're compulsory purchasing Minster Marshes and Hoverpool.
Yeah,
compulsory purchase. So we won't be able to use it in that area. The Ramsgate residents, do they know this? It was an interesting, and I must thank Laura because she's done quite a lot of writing for me, because I didn't want to cover everybody else's. I wanted to talk about on Ramsgate for her, which I said I would do. It was an interesting day, but it was such a weird experience. I'll be surprised if they get that through coming through. There's so many concerns up that other end as well.
Trevor, it'll be the same as the airport.
Exactly. So it's amazing.
We're not on the airport.
Once you got
Look at that light at the end of the tunnel, not airports. We talk about that Minster Marshes. Right, don't confuse the issues. No. That's an airport. This is Minster Marshes.
Unlike you, Fred.
The site is 4 acres. The site is 4 acres. 4 football pitches, full of concrete.
I've been at it
on the
for
marsh.
years.
No, you're not the only one. I've seen you up at the Open Park and so I know them docket.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, just an observation, I was walking down here tonight and I was thinking, precisely, we've got the National Secret Link project and the airport, and it's just so depressing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you think, is this town going to be totally destroyed? I mean, we're trying to improve things, and you just feel completely shattered.
Okay, councillor.
Yeah, I just wanted to, just to go on a point that Councillor Shomp just made about the lack of people that you saw there. But for me, you could have 100 people there saying next to nothing about it. It only takes a couple of people with the knowledge and everything like that to get that over, to make those points. So it's not how many, it's who is there that have got the nous and wherewithal to put that over.
They've had written submissions from loads of people.
Exactly.
If you're on
Councillor
If you're on Minster Marshes, they really have logged everything. I mean, all the documentation is there. You can put a subject in and find it. You know, we sort of set that off. That whole process was set off in Broadstairs, and it went to Sandwich, then it came to here, and the Ramsgate Society. So it's not true that people don't know about it. There's 1,500 signatures went in from the hoverport alone on that, and they're still gathering them. So, you know, there's a small group of people who have led this. I'm part of that group of people, and they are absolutely on it. They are, the farmers' speech absolutely amazing. They're people of knowledge, and they've knowledge themselves up. The analysis of paperwork has been pretty amazing by even George, the gamekeeper, says I'm not very well educated, but he is highly.
Well, Councillor Green wanted to.
I wanted to thank Councillor Schultz for representing the town council. Is what Laura produced for you available to us?
I think you said no.
It's on the papers, it's,
Is it?
yes, it's on the, so we
Very good, Dave.
we can send it round to everyone, presumably, because it's,
Yeah.
yes.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Okay, so
That they want to CPO the hoverport
Yeah,
Yes.
Forever.
forever.
it's not evidence, which was on the day. Not the
Yeah,
marshes.
I'm particularly concerned about Pegwell. So,
They do see the marshes.
so that will stop whatever's happening there, which is a slowly turning.
Rewilding.
Yes.
That will stop it, won't it?
There's a small, there's going to be a small area available to us, which is, if you I'm quite happy to share my speech with people as well, because I concentrated on the hoverport flooding, the issue of flooding. So I'll write something and send it round as well.
Thank you.
did you have,
I just wanted to say that in the same way that we've been critical of the process regarding civil aviation authority in Manston, the process for this that the planning inspectorate has followed has been unbelievably complicated and tremendously difficult for anybody to follow. I remember speaking at Manston hearings, and I don't remember it being as unclear who was expected to be where when and what they were supposed to be speaking about as we've had with this. There's been multiple different things happening in the same week at different times and
No,
different.
I think that the Manston hearings were well.
They were well run. This, I'm not criticising the inspectors who were obviously doing a good job and obviously listening and paying good attention, and the presenters were all very good and convincing, but the process, I think, and I'm picking up on Councillor Schultz's point about there being lots of empty seats, I suspect some of those seats were being filled if only people knew what the hell was going on which day.
It doesn't happen during the day though.
No, absolutely.
I'd have happily have gone, but it's not an option.
okay, can we note the information?
Yeah.
Thank the town clerk for it, and can we ask the deputy town clerk if he can circulate that to all of the councillors?
That would be fantastic.
If committee's minded, I was going to suggest that if you wish to publish these comments as a statement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Push that out there.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
A good idea.
Thank you.
Deputy Town Clerk. Thank you kindly.
Right, can we move on to the planning applications, please? Which is.
Okay, the first one is the Ramsgate Football Club. This is an erection of a single-storey rear extension to the bar building and erect a single-storey building for medical use together with fence, entrance gates and vendor parking spaces to create a fan zone area. Called in by Councillor Green, concern regarding potential increased noise.
So it's very close to.
Yeah, it was really the horror, the thought of creating a fan zone and the noise that will produce.
Yeah.
It's because it'd be in the open air.
What is a fan zone?
Well, it's effectively.
Hang on,
Sorry.
sorry, Councillor.
Just ask a question. Sorry, Chair. I am so sorry, Chair, for answering.
She should be quiet.
Yes, shut up.
So, so this is the southern part of the Nether Courts ward, and so I'm quite close to it. The noise from my house next to it is phenomenal. Everybody complains. And the traffic, the parking, the disturbance. People are very, very unhappy about the football ground, as much as they can understand the need for one and the brilliance it does for the youngsters and stuff like that, don't get me wrong. But in terms of practicality in a really highly residential area with narrow streets, it does not sit well with residents. This added to what they're doing already, it just makes their lives even worse. And I am getting nothing but complaints about this, and people are rightly worried. So I don't think it's a good idea to have this put on for that.
Okay, Councillor Orban.
Thank you, Chair. Well, I want to take an opposite view of what's been said. That football ground's been there donkey's years, right? Surrounded by, as we know, terraced houses, etc., etc. So there's always been noise from there. The fan zone makes no difference. Fan zone is an area where...
It does make a difference.
Well,
because it will be used to show films of away games. Yes. So it will double.
I haven't read the application, so I don't know.
It will be double the amount of noise.
But yes, even so, unless the buildings in themselves, so there's no, as far as I can see, there's no change of use of the ground. So it's just the fans located in a different area. Some of the fans, that is, I've got no particular love for Ramsgate Football Club, personally, but I just think what it is and where it is, you've already got that. Now, if there is excessive noise, then that's an environmental issue, and that's an environmental health issue. And it's for environmental health to measure the noise. Now, what you actually do about that in a football ground that's lawfully there, when they could have up to 7,000, I think, in Ramsgate Football Club, which they don't have on a regular basis. I think it's approximately about 1,000 to 1,500. I think that they get on a match day and a match evening. So, in relation to the structures, have we got the?
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about, yeah.
Yep.
So they're only single-storey structures. So those in themselves, I can't see a problem with at all. So what you're talking about is noise.
Right.
Yeah, what you're talking about is noise. So they're not going to refuse. You can't refuse that in a football ground, which has already got noise in it. So. I'd be very surprised if that was the case, and I don't think they win that. I don't think the council would win.
I used to go to Anfield, and it's surrounded by little terraces.
I know, but it's
Councillor.
I haven't got a problem with the football club itself.
No.
It's just this is
Councillor Sean.
Thank you. Well, it's been there a long time. It's a place where people can let their hair down. They do some excellent work for children from deprived areas. The noise is a noise. We're sitting here, but we don't want to score an own goal on Ramsgate. A lot of people support that place. Couldn't we put a few trees around it just to cut the noise down a bit? That'd be good.
If there's any sort of screens.
Let's work with Ramsgate. They are, well, I'm not saying they're hard up, but they struggle. There are a lot of volunteers. I've been up there many a time. But on the whole, youngsters, not me, can go out there and let their hair down. But we all talk about these youngsters, and they do take a lot of youngsters from quite a way, bring them in by minibuses. So I think we've got to support it. Fair enough, there might be noise from other people. But can't we put a few trees around or bushes and just spot that noise there?
Well, they put stuff by motorways. Councillor Nix.
You could put in a building.
Saying that there was a football ground is a bit like saying that's not fair. Nothing that anybody's said so far is considering the residents around there. So of course I'm not anti the football club or anything, but and then it's like, oh, lots of people use it, it's great. Yeah, of course, I'm not saying that at all. However, the residents around there complain about it regularly, to the point where it was also they did have a letter about overstaying the hours that they were there. They had to cut back, and it was the licensing had to deal with that. Because they were not doing what they should do, and it is affecting lots of people. So that is the issue here. It is, and it's not Margate Football Club where you've got a road that goes past it and you can get out of the area easy. It is a dead-end road, and surrounded by lots of little roads. It's absolutely gridlocked there, and people are understandably annoyed about this. It ruins their daily life. So we do have to take that into consideration.
Councillor Huxley.
I was just going to pick up on the suggestion that maybe this fan zone shouldn't be outdoors. Maybe if they're going to create something, they should do it in a big sort of hangar type space that has sound baffling.
Yes.
And that at least it's not going to affect parking, but it might at least reduce the sound impact. I absolutely agree they do a great job. This doesn't seem fair to the local residents, and an awful lot of that housing has been there for a hell of a long time.
It'd be better for the fans too.
I also agree that undercover would be really good. I mean, you put a tarmac surface down and then you've got a multi-use space that is covered. So just by laying out a bit more money, they've actually got a much more useful space to do other activities in that wouldn't be affected by weather.
So my proposal is to...
Have we kicked it around enough? That's what I want.
Right, thank you.
You're offside.
Oh, no.
Is for the football club to consider, consider having this
Outdoor fan zone.
Yes, on the basis of the impact,
On the neighbours.
the noise impact on the neighbours.
Presumably they need money as well, so that's where this.
But we're opposing the outdoor fan zone, and what we're going to suggest, we think the football club should seek to look at some kind of cheap structure that would enable activities. Some kind of structure that would enable indoor use, and also explore hedge planting and tree planting that might help mitigate some of the noise.
Where are you going to put the other 1,000 people there, and are you going to shut them up?
You don't need, most school assemblies are 1,000 strong.
I'm just saying.
Massive space.
I'm just saying, yeah, but the kids. I'm just saying these adults and children.
But they're right, okay.
You've got your.
They're going to have a fan zone anyway, okay, which is a restricted space. If that space is just covered, it's no different to it not being covered in terms of its capacity.
Yes. Yes.
There might be different health and safety rules with a covered space. By
motorways, they put these baffles, don't they? So
Must be something they could do, and there may well be grants that they can apply for that type of thing.
indeed. So what's our motion?
To object.
So I've got to oppose to the outdoor fan zone due to the impact on neighbours, and then I've put a indoor zone to be considered using noise reduction materials or planting around the outskirts.
And planting.
And planting, yeah.
Sounds excellent.
I'll second that.
So, who proposed it?
I did.
And I'll second.
And seconded by Councillor Nixon. So, yes, all those in favour? Yeah.
And against chair.
And you're against or abstain? Okay. The second application,
I'll excuse myself.
but you stay in the room.
Not a decision-making body.
All right, then I won't then.
Maybe you should.
I'm not a decision-making body, so I'm saying.
You don't have to. You can sit there and say nothing.
Yeah.
I would
Not vote.
not voting.
I won't, thank you.
Okay, so Grange Road.
Am I allowed to talk to it though?
I would advise against that.
Okay.
because we've got the St Cloud issue again.
So this is 102 Grange Road, change of use from a 6-bed dwelling to an 8-bed HMO for 8.
It's not, it's 10, it's changed.
Yes, I thought it was
Okay.
10.
It's 10,
Okay.
sorry.
So,
They changed this.
oh, since.
You're talking.
Okay.
So, but only, you need the correct information, otherwise you'd be, you
Yep.
know.
Together with enlarged vehicle crossover and formation of additional parking space. Called in by Councillors Green and William, concern of overdevelopment, parking, etc., and concern with the HMO.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
generally think,
Can I speak to it? Do you mind?
yes, no.
I mean, I know we can't oppose HMOs. HMOs are needed, and there aren't any HMOs within the distance that would make it unviable. But having said that, sheer number of people that they're going to install in there, which in 10 bedrooms, which could be 20 people, which could conceivably be 20 cars, is just, in that road, is just out of proportion. It just can't happen. So that's the main reason that I think we should oppose it.
Councillor Shaw.
Trouble is, once you allow one, you'll get others, because if they, up the road they've got some, and it's not going to stop there. And Grange Road is a pain in the arse anyway. You're too busy that road.
I drove up it today to wait for the bus.
Pain in the arse.
It's,
People that live there.
having read all the objections, there's somebody who said it should be a family house. Now, I know your house, not allowed to say anything, is a one-person or various people, single person's house, but that is not easy these days to, I wish it was, to get a family in there that would, use the whole house. So I think it's inevitable. But how? I mean, I have certainly an issue with the layout. If that's the basement on the left,
Yeah.
those 2 bedrooms don't seem to have a bathroom on the left. For example, there's a cycle store and a maintenance store. And
There isn't even a toilet on their floor, is there?
No.
No. So that's odd. The other bedrooms have en suites, but they're very, hotel-like, Premier Inn, squashed in. There's another kitchen upstairs, and they have enough bathrooms.
Dimensions of the room.
I mean, I do think we need HMOs because young people have got to have somewhere to live. But I think this one's a bit excessive. That's my own opinion.
Sorry, I do need to say, if you, sorry to point out, can you just go out, if you count the rooms, there's only 8 on these plans, they are the wrong plans. It is 10, if you go online now, it's 10.
There's another one.
Where have they put the others?
There's another floor, isn't there?
Gone.
There's an upper floor. Yes, Councillor
I
Wing.
have a real concern with rooms without ensuite. I think in this day and age, we should not be having women or men tripping up a flight of stairs to have a tinkle in the middle of the night. It's just not safe, especially when the 10 people in the house might not even know each other. It's just, as Peter Campbell would have said, these are tomorrow's sons of the future. And I get that, most student accommodation would not have bathrooms or facilities outside of their bedroom.
Not anymore.
And they say this is for professional, to attract professional people, but professional people want to tiddle in their own room.
Well, they'll have to use a sink. Come on.
Can I speak to you?
Yes.
Thank you. I think, you know, I've got to go with what's on the, with what's in front of us.
Yes, that's it.
Which was a 6-bed dwelling, doesn't matter how many people live in there, it's a 6 bedrooms effectively, to an 8-bedroom place.
Yeah, it is 10 now.
It's 10.
It's 10, so
Yes.
so that application's wrong.
Yes.
Yes.
It's been.
They changed.
Yeah. Oh, I changed it, so it's some policy, so we haven't got that. So it's to 10. Okay, that makes a bit of a difference, doesn't it? The only thing that I would say, well, I don't think it's for us, but it would certainly be for TDC, and that is the application for an 80-bed HMO in Broadstairs, of which the council has had to withdraw from the appeal because Kent County Council's highways professional buggered it all up. I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. So if it's going to get approved, and where it is quite a major road there, and there aren't the parking spaces. There aren't the parking spaces. So I think, you know, maybe not for us, we could make comments about it, you know, 10-bed HMO is not right for here, blah, blah, blah. But I think when it gets to TDC, I think TDC might have a problem.
Well, it depends on the KCC if they get that.
Room's too small.
There is
have this with,
there is
another
is it
HMO.
7 square metres is the smallest of a single?
Yes, 7 square metres.
There is a minimum.
Yeah, I think it's 7.
Is it 7? I thought it was 10.
I don't know.
Right.
I can't tell you what the changes are.
I don't feel they
Very
can
small.
fit in.
Councillor, I keep calling you Huxley, Austin. You used to be Huxley. Where did I make that up?
I think
Drugs in one chair.
I think we should express concerns about the size of the rooms, about the access to washing, shower facilities and lavatories, etc. And suggest that this building would be much better, for example, divided into, say, 3 flats, which would provide appropriate accommodation, but in a manner that better uses the space that's there, and without creating the difficulties of parking, etc., that's already there. Can I propose that, please?
You can, but the 3 flats will cause just as much problem with the parking, or as much. And I'm not sure that gets taken into account because it is very definitely on a bus route.
Yes, but even so, I mean, if you're looking at, 20 people each with a car in that area where it's impossible to park anywhere.
That's how an HMO is managed. Some of them are not allowed to have an extra I know.
I mean,
how it's managed.
Work in this sort of fantasy land where, in theory, there are 10 single people, but in practice, we all know they've got a farm.
Okay.
So, we vote on it. I'll second it, Chair. We vote on it.
All right, all those voting in favour of saying this is
unacceptable. Have a phantom vote.
Any abstentions? No. Or voting yes? No.
Cool.
You happy to me to talk to that, TDC?
Please.
Ward councillor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Edith Lodge, Edith Road, no windows.
The third application of Edith Lodge, erection of a 2-bed, 2-storey dwelling attached to Edith Lodge following demolition of existing garage, together with the erection of the front boundary wall, bin and bike storage and associated landscaping, called in by Councillor Green, concern over lack of
windmills.
Windows.
I will just jump ahead. So this is the ground floor. There's the bay window, and that there's no surrounding windows for that. And then you've got the first floor, which is the bay window and a small bedroom window and there's no windows going into the rooms to the
That is dark, isn't it?
Seemed weird to me.
So just to show it from the front. So that's it, existing and then proposed, so it's literally those three windows.
To have windows.
Don't think it's illegal what they want to do. It's tight, but it's not illegal.
What's not illegal? Not to have windows.
The only room that hasn't got windows is the bathrooms.
And the kitchen.
Bathrooms are right, not having windows.
Bedrooms are not, but he's got a little one.
Yeah.
Go back to the ground floor. It's all right, the kitchen, not to.
Chair, I think in principle, I can't see a problem with a dwelling there, but I think design's not right. I think that I'm not happy with the design. I don't like the front elevation. It doesn't fit in. And it's not, when I say it doesn't fit in, it's not comparable to the other side.
Lovely house.
It's not as though it's a new kind of funky thing, which you could say, okay, it's a direct opposite. It's some kind of mismatch of stuff to go in there. You know, just having that one window on that level, there should at least be two, you know, it just doesn't fit, it's odd.
Out of proportion.
Yeah, I just think it's non-proportional.
Councillor Shaw.
Like I say, I quite agree with Councillor Elfin. The street thing, it looks odd.
It doesn't fit, does it?
It doesn't make it easy.
Yeah.
If we're allowed to talk about the street scene.
Sure.
Even to a point, Chair, if I may,
No chimney.
on the ground floor, about on the top of the bay, that looks odd in comparison to next doors. You know, they could have put a decorative part on there, the same as next door is, with that great lump there.
Yeah.
So it just makes it looks out of proportion.
I've got well, but is there any information on biodiversity net gain?
Because it's 10%.
They're planting a daffodil.
There was one daffodil.
We've now got two.
Just check the.
Because it's,
I mean, the front garden's been taken. Gone. Sorry.
No, that's okay. It's worth checking.
It's a legal requirement now.
Two kitchens have a window.
I don't think they do it, because it's in the basement, but then normally if you're into the basement, you know.
There is one window, isn't there? It's a bay window, so that would count. Bedrooms definitely have.
They'll have to
Not in the kitchen.
ventilation.
Hasn't it?
it goes through those, doesn't it?
Hasn't it? Open through. I thought it was an open plan kitchen.
Diverse, there we go.
No,
Can you increase that size?
No.
no protected species. Designated for most biodiversity.
So,
So they don't believe that development requires it.
So that's one of our, we would need to ask about why there is no requirement for biodiversity net gain.
Subject to the de minimis exemption, below that it's too small.
Yeah.
25 square metres.
25 square metres, it's just not big, is it? It's going to be a tiny house.
Well, we could object on it if it's not big enough for biodiversity net gain. It shouldn't have big enough for a human.
Becky says.
Yeah.
The proposal exemption under the biodiversity net gain regulations.
I propose that we recommend refusal of this application on the grounds that the development is disproportionate to the adjoining properties from both. It has a detrimental visible effect on the highway, on the street scene, thank you.
And lack of natural light.
And a lack of natural light.
I suppose I didn't have a roof lamp, actually.
Parking's
Okay, have you got a second?
because that house loses its garage space.
What's her name?
Whatever she's called.
that's all I can say. Anyway, I'll ask you afterwards. Are we voting to support the motion?
Yes.
Thank you. And I'm voting against.
Yes.
That's all of mine.
Thank you now. Save yourself 10 minutes.
Okay, and the last application is the Bedford Inn. This is 29 Westcliff Road, it's the erection of 2 numbered timber structures and raised decking to rear garden, which is retrospective. It's an amended application. They've provided additional plans for the proposed garden plan.
It's retrospective.
Called in by Councillor Wing, concerns from neighbours and in conservation zone. We did have this before, but we gave no comment in January.
Do you want me to?
You're going to talk?
Yeah, it's the concerns from the neighbours. The neighbours have proposed reasonable mediations, adjustments. Is that, I think it's to do with this one. The Bedford screening up on most of it between Val Square and their new outdoor decking. You know, the pub's more successful than it was. But on that other bit where it's lifted up, according to the neighbours there, when people stand up in that space, they are here at the wall height. Now, that the neighbours never used to see them because there was always growth there, trees, bushes, hedges, whatever. So what that's gone? Yes, that's gone and that's been lifted up. So I think the neighbours, the residents they're not totally disagreeing with it. They would like some protective measures. This is a family with small kids and they really do feel it's inappropriate when
They could put their own in.
They could do, but it was, they've changed, they took all the hedging out. Why should it be the neighbour that does that? And they probably will. But
Sorry, it's on a hill, so they're lower down.
yeah. I think the houses are down, aren't they? So the only recommendation I'd make is that we support the efforts of the neighbours to work with CDC to propose screening, to provide some appropriate screening. That's overlooking,
Which apparently they have on the other side.
Yeah, they do. They've done it. The Bedford have done it, and I think it has all calmed down now there, and both parties are sort of trying to meet each other in the middle. But this is here, and I'm not sure TDC are being helpful.
Absolutely.
We've commented before on that, so it must have changed.
Yeah, the thing that's changed is that the loss of greenery, isn't it?
I think what they did is they did one area and then they did the other area, but they have permissions for the other area, the new raised bit there. Right. That's my understanding of it.
If I may, Chair, if I may ask.
I was just going to say, it doesn't actually show the neighbouring garden.
Doesn't have to.
I know it doesn't have
Site plan would be good.
No, but the heights, yeah.
May I ask, Deputy Town Clerk, obviously, as Councillor Green just said, this is an amendment to an existing application. So it's not a new application, it's an amendment to an application. So what is different, as Councillor Green just said, what is the amendment?
The new raised bit.
Yeah, so you've got, this is the existing that they've got from 2020 to 2022. This is what they're proposing as built, that's the retrospective. So that's what it is for the previous application. And then these are the additional plans showing what the structure's made of.
Right. So, but is the actual decking that this is placed on, is it at the same level?
No, you can see higher than it was. One's down and one's up. There's one that says raised decking.
So the red line is where it denotes the original paving height, so that it's raised up to match the original paving.
So it's no higher than the original paving, so it's just those structures, effectively.
It's the screening that the neighbours are concerned about.
There's a screening on that boundary wall there,
Nothing
background.
Not on the other side.
So that's
But
what,
not on this part?
yeah, that's what the neighbours.
Well, then I totally agree with you to say if they got it on that side, put it on the other side.
There's also something about taking a roof off, which made the noise worse.
I think they have taken the roof off, there was a roof off, but the neighbours have not mentioned the roof to me, just.
Well, it's mentioned in the objections.
Paint with that.
Yeah,
Go on.
the noise will stay down. Okay, so what's proposal?
Yeah, that the applicant puts a similar screening on that, on the new side, on the amendment bit.
Yeah.
To
I'll
reduce
second that,
the,
Chair.
reduce the overlook.
All those in favour? That's everybody. And that's that now, Dean.
Okay, so, item 8 is we received a Kent order. This is from KCC, Secretary of State. The order concerns the public right-of-way, which is TR26, located west of Hayne Road in Ramsgate. The proposal is to stop up the existing 88-metre section of footpath and replace it with the newly diverted route. The replacement path begins at the same grid reference and is slightly repositioned and runs for over 95 metres. It will also be wider than the current path, improving the available width for users. The full plans are in the report. I just grabbed it now. So we're invited to make comment if we.
Chair.
Yes, Councillor.
I can't see a problem with this at all, Chair. I wouldn't make comment on it at all.
In case there's any thought of.
Can I ask Steve, where is it?
Hayne Road.
Yeah.
So you've got the new route, like where you go to St. Anne's. It's the footpath is they're redirecting it down past the road.
Yeah.
I'm a visual.
Can we just ask out of curiosity, is there some explanation as to why? Is this because there's going to be new development there?
That's
what we just.
Isn't it?
I propose no comment.
No comment.
No comment. Well, we've just got to receive it.
Yeah.
Note it.
Names of the houses, Mulberry, Whiteley, Mash Grove.
All the trees that they've knocked down to build them up, yeah.
Nice of fate, that's what I say.
Okay, the date next meeting's Wednesday, 13th of May. Are you on holiday? 7 p.m.